Welcome, everybody. This is D. Durrell Spears here once again on D. Durrell Life Solutions. Today, I would like to talk about something that is related to contracts. And throughout the social media, uh, platforms, particularly on YouTube, this is kind of parallel to a certain social media phenomenon, or I would say, she's pretty much hot in the YouTube streets. A lady of the Caucasian persuasion, offering bogus, what I would say exploitive social media contracts to her employees. So, what I would like to do is kind of relate my own experience of being offered similar types of contracts. And so, before I get started, I want to number one lament the fact that if she is offering them contracts, they're not her employees. Okay, they're not her employees. Those are her contractors. Okay, so there's a difference because if they were her real employees, they would have. I don't know what the standard in Britain is, but in terms of the United States, they would have W-2s. They have to fill out W-4s. They would have to be paid wages. Okay, it's a difference. They're contractors. So when you are a contractor, that means you have a contract or an agreement with the owner of the business. Someone such as King Richards and Auntie, whatever her name, Gina, Jan, whatever the hell her name is, um, they're contractors. And some of the other ones, particularly if they're content creators. If you're sharing profit, if you are sharing the proceeds or anything related to intellectual property and rights, then you have a business agreement. If somebody is working for you as an employee, you give up all of those rights. You give up 100% of all of that. Everything goes through the company. So if I hired a person to work an hourly wage at a certain amount, or I give them a salary, everything that they are doing, everything that they create intellectually belongs to me because I'm paying you a wage to work here or a salary. Now, if I enter into a contractual agreement, that basically means I don't have to, you're not privy to any of my resources to create whatever you're doing or do any service that you're doing. Now, I may grant you, as in the agreement, to utilize my property, my resources, but you also have the right or you have to have the capacity to create. We need to understand the difference because there is a clear difference between you as a contractor versus you as an employee. In this instance, she has employees, she has contractors who are deemed as employees for more of a layman's term because they're working for her under her conditions. Now, what I like to do at this point is relate this to my own experiences because I have had several hospitals and very wealthy individuals that are in the healthcare field, particularly in the last, particularly early on in my, I'm not gonna say early on in my career, but early on in my business career, who offered me quote unquote lucrative contracts or to buy the business and they wanted me to continue managing the business for them, even though they bought the rights to everything. And so what that involves is the clientele, all of my business, all of my company panels, government contracts, all of that will be transferred to them. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of government contracts. I did have a lot of clients. Well, I had a few government contracts, but I did have a lot of clients. And then I had a lot of people that I had contacts with that to continue creating more and more revenue. And they gave me an offer for that. They wanted to buy it, but they wanted us to continue to work there They wanted us to continue working for them to make money. I was not willing to do that. I was not willing to basically subsidize my career working for them and then making them rich. And I'm selling off the resource that I'm building myself. I opted out from an Indian guy, an Arab guy that I was going to partner up with, who was who was a dentist. There was another guy that I worked with. He was worth damn near 9 figures, and he had a host of different things internationally, particularly in the city of Houston and abroad. I had access to some very, very wealthy men that wanted, like my ideas, like my mindset, and they wanted me. He actually offered me a job to work in his company because he wanted me to build other opportunities for him. And I'm like, why would I build other people's opportunities when I can build it for myself? Now, let me let you understand the difference between me and Auntie, whatever the hell her name is, King Richards and others, as it relates to just Pearlie and D. Durrell Spears, who already had infrastructure built for himself, and the people who are offering me what was perceived as a lucrative deal. The difference is I already had years and years to build my reputation. I had a solid network referral system. Okay. I had my as also the owner, I was also talented enough to deliver the services being a licensed clinician. Okay. I had a proven track record, great reputation. And the fact of the matter is that I was already making good money, really, really good money. So when you look at all of that, that's why I was seen as attractive because they saw if they could put a huge cash infusion into this business, they could grow it even faster and better than I did. I didn't have the capital to invest as much as they did. But see, the problem is that I wasn't making nickels and dimes. I was making well over several, probably a couple of, well over 150 to $200,000 easily. Okay, and so you offered me a few $100,000 or more was not. I'm not going to jump at that, and that's one of the reasons why I had an issue with King Richards because King Richards had a YouTube channel that was popular, and a lot of Americans watched his content and internationally. Yes, he didn't have 100,000, he didn't have all that, but he had a firm foundation that could build slowly. But no, you see, this is the difference between people that understand their wealth and those that understand their worth and those that don't. I understood my worth because I understand that the more I continued to build, the more value I was going to have over time. I was not looking to get a large amount of capital very soon. I'm sitting on half a million, $1 million, bam. When I knew that the company that I had, looking back at it, I basically sold my company for cheap, and they are making millions off of the $500,000 more investment that they were willing to give me, and then I was going to be busting my butt making them rich as the director of those services and companies and programs. Yeah, they would have paid me, maybe somewhere between 95 to $100,000, possibly. So what? But the bottom line is that I was going to be making them rich and not myself. That's the difference. So that was a bogus contract. I had a hospital wanted me to partner up with them as a satellite. Now that was probably the best contract, but at the same time, when you look at the fact that let's say you can make off of 50 clients or more, you're probably going to make anywhere between 1.2 million dollars. And then I sit there making maybe 20% of that, which ain't bad. But the fact of the matter is that, I have to do everything in the manner that you are doing it, even though even that may mean lower quality of services. And the fact of the matter is that you're taking in the bulk of the share of the money, and I'm doing all the goddamn work and sweat equity, putting all sweat equity in a business for you. And that was the best. The other one, they flat out wanted to buy it, but they wanted contracts for me to continue to work for them to make them rich. And so what you're seeing right now in these YouTube streets, as it comes to this, um, these contracts that are given out, and see, I'm glad that this is um, has come to light, because now it's going to also show what other people are doing, other contracts that nobody hears about. It's gonna see, we're gonna learn about what other people are getting paid, just like on No Jumper, just like Fresh and Fit. Now I'm already hearing people talk about contracts. Other people who are on these shows where there's multiple hosts and people, renting out time, and they're doing shows and they're splitting the revenue from the monetization. Now we're gonna really learn the YouTube business. But I wanted to preface my experience with bogus contracts. I've had several offers between 2010 and I think around 2014 was my worst financial year. And one of the reasons it was my worst financial, because I tried to partner up with some Negroes twice and it did not work. And they had more resources than me at the time. And then I turned down the non-black contracts, and then I tried to partner with a couple of people. Now, one guy, wasn't his fault. We just had some things that just was not going to work, and so we parted way due to not necessarily financial, but it was some other interrelational issues and just a difference of how to do business. And things of that sort, that I decided to part way. The other person just didn't know what the hell he was doing, and he just wasn't financially taking care of business. But he saw me as a great asset and wanted to keep me around for a great deal of time. Then I tried to do some business with a church that fell drastically. And so I lost a bunch of money in 2014. And that experience taught me a big lesson, that whenever you come to the table with a partnership and you're trying to do contractual business and everything, you have to come from a position of strength. And the fact of the matter, if this business doesn't go well, or it's not what you're liking, don't accept it. You move on and do you. And that's exactly what I've been doing since 2014. I don't entertain anybody talk to me about partnershiping, anybody talking about me about collaborating resources, building a new agency, doing a new company. I don't need to. I don't have to, because I can afford to do it myself. Now the tables have turned, where people now want me to invest in their business. They want me to do certain things so that I can help save their business. And I turn them all down, because I don't have time to save other people. I only have time to make money for myself. Unless there's an opportunity where I'm making an exuberant amount of money, way far more than what I'm making now, that I'm willing to take that risk. And at this point for me, I don't have to, don't need to, and I will not. So guys, this is Coach D. Darrell Spears with D. Darrell Life Solutions. Have a great day.